The Echoes of Lavender. Part 1. The Arrival at Provence. The summer of 1985 bathed Provence in a golden haze, the rolling hills of the Luberon Valley a patchwork of lavender fields and olive groves, their scents mingling in the warm breeze that rustled through the cypress trees. The sky was a deep cerulean, streaked with wisps of cloud, the sun a fierce orb that softened the stone walls of Château Lavande, a 17th-century estate nestled among the purple blooms. The chateau's ivy-clad façade glowed in the light, its shutters a faded blue, its courtyard alive with the hum of cicadas and the distant clatter of a fountain. It was a place of timeless beauty, but beneath its charm lay a heartbeat of secrets, a history of love and loss that whispered through the lavender. Elise Marquette, 38, stood on the chateau's stone steps, her auburn hair swept into a loose bun, her green eyes shimmering with a mix of hope and trepidation, her linen sundress a soft cream against her sun-kissed skin. A best-selling romance novelist from Paris, Elise had come to Provence seeking inspiration after a painful divorce from her husband, Julien, a painter whose infidelity had shattered her heart. Her voice was a warm alto, her fingers clutching a leather journal, her gaze on the lavender fields. "It's more beautiful than I imagined," she said, her breath catching, her heart a fragile thing seeking solace. "I can almost feel the stories in the air." Madame Colette Beaumont, 62, the chateau's caretaker, greeted her with a smile, her silver hair in a tight chignon, her blue eyes wise behind wire-rimmed glasses, her floral dress a nod to the blooms around them. Colette's soprano was lilting, her hands clasped as she spoke, her presence a comforting anchor. "Welcome to Château Lavande, Madame Marquette," she said, her voice a melody of warmth. "This place has a way of healing hearts. I hope it does the same for you." Monsieur Pierre Dubois, 45, the estate's gardener, emerged from the lavender fields, his denim shirt rolled to the elbows, his dark hair streaked with gray, his hazel eyes kind but shadowed, his baritone a low rumble. A widower who'd lost his wife to cancer 5 years prior, Pierre found solace in the earth, his hands callous but gentle. "The lavender's at its peak," he said, wiping his brow, his smile hesitant. "It'll inspire you, madam. I've seen it work magic before." Sophie Laurent, 29, the chateau's young chef, appeared with a tray of lemonade, her blonde hair in a braid, her brown eyes bright with curiosity, her cotton dress a soft yellow, her mezzo a burst of energy. An aspiring artist who'd taken the job to save for art school, Sophie's laughter was infectious, her dreams as vibrant as the fields. "You must be Elise," she said, setting the tray down, her hands quick. "I've read your books. They're so romantic. I hope you find love here. Provence is the place for it." The group settled on the courtyard's iron chairs, the lemonade a cool relief, the lavender scent a balm to Elise's frayed nerves, the cicadas a chorus that drowned her doubts. She sipped her drink, her green eyes distant, her alto soft with vulnerability. "I came to write," she said, her fingers brushing her journal. "But I'm not sure I can. My last novel. Julien's betrayal bled into every page. I need to find myself again." Colette's blue eyes softened, her soprano a gentle murmur, her hands folding in her lap. "This chateau has seen many broken hearts," she said, her voice a thread of memory. "My own included. My husband left me for another during the war. But Lavande has a way of whispering hope. Give it time, Elise. Pierre's hazel eyes met Elisa's, his baritone a quiet strength, his hands still on the table. I lost my Claire to illness, he said, his gaze on the fields. The lavender helped me through. I planted a new row for her every year. It's a place to start over, if you let it be. Sophie's brown eyes sparkled, her mezzo a burst of optimism, her braids swinging as she leaned forward. And maybe you'll find new love, she said, her voice bright. Provence is full of romance. My parents met in these fields. I'm sure there's someone out there for you, Elise. Elise smiled, her green eyes warming, her alto a whisper of gratitude, her heart stirring with the first flickers of hope. You're all so kind, she said, her fingers tightening on her journal. I'll try. I'll let the lavender guide me. The afternoon unfolded in a haze of sunlight, Elise settling into her room, a airy space with a four-poster bed, its windows framing the lavender fields, a desk by the sill where her typewriter waited. She unpacked her suitcase, her sundress swaying, her green eyes catching a photograph of her and Julian, their smiles a painful memory. She tucked it away, her alto a murmur of resolve. No more tears, she said, her heart a fragile vow. This is my new chapter. Dinner was a feast in the chateau's dining hall, its stone walls adorned with tapestries, its long table set with linen and silver, a chandelier casting a soft glow. Sophie served a Provençal meal, ratatouille, grilled lamb with rosemary, a rose that sparkled like the sunset, the lavender scent drifting through the open windows. Colette raised her glass, her soprano a toast, her blue eyes bright. To new beginnings, she said, her voice a melody of hope. May Château Lavande be your muse, Elise. Pierre's baritone joined in, his hazel eyes on Elise, his smile a quiet promise. And to the lavender, he said, his hands steady. It always blooms, no matter the season. Sophie's mezzo giggled, her brown eyes dancing, her braid a golden thread in the light. And to love, she said, her voice a spark. Let's find it in every corner. Elise's green eyes shimmered, her alto a soft echo, her heart lifting with their words. To all of it, she said, her glass raised, her journal on the table, a blank page waiting. The meal was a symphony of flavors, the conversation a tapestry of laughter and stories, the lavender fields a silent witness beyond the windows. But as night fell, the chateau grew quiet, the cicadas fading, the breeze cooler through the lavender. Elise sat at her desk, her typewriter untouched, her green eyes on the fields, her alto a whisper of doubt. Can I really start again? She said, her fingers trembling, her heart a fragile thing. A knock at her door startled her, and Colette entered, her silver hair glowing in the lamplight, her blue eyes kind, a small box in her hands. I found this in the attic, Colette said, her soprano soft, her hands offering the box. It belonged to the chateau's first mistress, Amélie Lavande, a locket with a lavender sprig inside. She, too, came here with a broken heart, centuries ago. I thought it might inspire you. Elise opened the box, her green eyes wide, her alto a gasp, her fingers lifting the locket, its silver warm, the lavender sprig a faded purple within. It's beautiful, she said, her heart stirring, a story blooming in her mind. Amélie, maybe she's the muse I need. Colette's blue eyes smiled, her soprano a gentle promise, her hands folding. "Let her story guide yours," she said, her voice a thread of wisdom. "The lavender always whispers, it's up to you to listen." Elise clasped the locket around her neck, her green eyes shimmering, her alto a vow, her heart a fragile flame. "I will," she said, her fingers on her typewriter, the lavender fields a canvas of inspiration. Château Lavande held its secrets close, its stone walls a keeper of love and loss, and Elise Marquette stood on the edge of a new beginning, her heart a melody that sought the echoes of lavender, a story waiting to be written. Part 2: The Garden of Memories. The morning sun filtered through the lavender fields of Château Lavande, its golden rays dappling the stone paths that wound through the Luberon valley, the air alive with the hum of bees and the sweet, earthy scent of blooming flowers. The sky above was a pale blue, the heat a gentle caress, the cypress trees standing sentinel over the rolling hills, their shadows long and cool. The chateau's courtyard fountain bubbled softly, its rhythm a counterpoint to the cicada's song, the estate a canvas of serenity that belied the restless hearts within. Elise Marquette stood at the edge of the garden, the locket from Amelie Lavande warm against her chest, her auburn hair glowing in the light, her green eyes tracing the purple expanse, a leather journal in her hand, her linen sundress swaying in the breeze. Elise had spent a restless night, the locket's weight a tether to the past, Amelie's story weaving through her dreams. A woman who'd loved deeply, lost tragically, and found solace in the lavender. She'd risen early, her alto a soft hum as she walked the grounds, her heart seeking the inspiration Colette had promised. "Amelie, what did you find here?" she murmured, her green eyes shimmering, her fingers brushing a lavender sprig, it sent a balm to her wounded soul. Her divorce from Julien still lingered, a shadow on her creativity, but the chateau's magic was stirring something within her, a flicker of hope she hadn't felt in months. Madame Colette Beaumont joined her, her silver hair catching the light, her floral dress a soft contrast to the stone path, her blue eyes wise behind wire-rimmed glasses, her soprano a gentle melody. "You're up early, Elise," she said, her hands carrying a basket of fresh croissants, their buttery scent mingling with the lavender. "Did the locket speak to you? I've always felt Amelie's spirit in these fields, she loved them dearly." Elise's green eyes warmed, her alto a quiet confession, her fingers tracing the locket's edge. "It did," she said, her sundress rustling as she sat on a stone bench, the journal in her lap. "I dreamed of her, a love story, but one filled with sorrow. I think I can write again, Colette. This place, it's waking something in me." Colette's blue eyes smiled, her soprano a thread of encouragement, her basket set beside them. "That's the magic of Lavande," she said, her voice soft. "It whispers to those who listen. Let Amelie guide your pen, Elise. She'll show you the way." Monsieur Pierre Dubois approached, his denim shirt dusted with soil, his dark hair streaked with gray, his hazel eyes gentle but shadowed, a pair of pruning shears in his hand. His baritone was a low rumble, his movements deliberate as he knelt to tend a lavender bush, his hands careful with the blooms. "The fields are thriving this year," he said, his gaze on the flowers, his smile hesitant. "Claire used to sit right there, on that bench, watching me work. She said the lavender held our memories." Elise's green eyes softened, her alto a murmur of empathy, her heart aching for his loss. "I'm sorry, Pierre," she said, her journal open, her pen poised. "It must be hard, being here without her. But these fields, they're beautiful because of you. I can feel her in them." Pierre's hazel eyes met hers, his baritone a quiet gratitude, his hands still on the lavender. "Thank you, Elise," he said, his voice a whisper of memory. "It helps, having people here." The chateau was too quiet after Claire, too empty. "You're bringing life back to it." Sophie Laurent burst into the garden, her blonde braids swinging, her brown eyes bright with excitement, her cotton dress a splash of yellow, a sketchbook tucked under her arm, her mezzo a burst of energy. "Elise! Colette! Pierre!" she called, her hands waving, her laughter a melody against the cicadas. "I've been sketching the fields. They're so inspiring. I thought maybe you'd want to see, Elise. Your writing, my art. We could make something together." Elise's green eyes sparkled, her alto a warm laugh, her heart lifting at Sophie's enthusiasm, the journal a bridge between them. "I love that, Sophie," she said, her sundress glowing in the sun, her fingers flipping to a blank page. "Let's sit together. I'll write while you sketch. Maybe we'll capture the lavender's magic." They settled on the bench, the garden a cocoon of creativity, Sophie's pencil scratching across her sketchbook, Elise's pen a steady rhythm, the lavender fields a muse that spoke to them both. Colette watched, her blue eyes tender, her soprano a soft hum as she arranged the croissants, the morning unfolding in a haze of sunlight and connection. Pierre worked nearby, his baritone a quiet song to the blooms, his hands a testament to years of love, the chateau a sanctuary that held them all. Elise's words flowed, her green eyes distant, her alto a murmur as she wrote, Amelie's story taking shape, a young woman in the 1700s, her love for a soldier forbidden by her family, their secret meetings in the lavender fields, a locket as their vow. Amelie's heart was here. She whispered, her pen a dance, her heart a fragile thing finding its voice. She loved him despite everything, despite the war, the betrayal. Sophie's brown eyes widened, her mezzo a gasp, her sketch of the fields vibrant with purples and golds, a figure in a bonnet standing among the blooms. "That's so romantic, Elise," she said, her braid bouncing, her hands quick. "I can see her, Amelie, with her soldier. I'm drawing her now, look." Elise's green eyes shimmered, her alto a soft delight, her journal a canvas of shared dreams, the locket a warm weight against her chest. "It's perfect, Sophie," she said, her sundress a soft cream in the light, her heart swelling. "We're telling her story together." But the morning's peace was broken by a shadow on the path, a man, tall and lean, his dark hair tousled, his blue eyes sharp with intensity, a camera slung around his neck, his linen shirt open at the collar, his jeans faded, his tenor a sharp edge. Gabriel Moreau, 40, a photojournalist from Marseille, had come to Provence to document the region's traditions, his past a tangle of heartbreak after losing his fiancée in a car accident, his lens a shield against his grief. "Madame Beaumont?" Gabriel called, his tenor a mix of curiosity and impatience, his camera catching the light, his blue eyes scanning the garden. "I'm Gabriel Moreau. I wrote about photographing the chateau for my book. I hope I'm not intruding." Colette rose, her silver hair glowing, her blue eyes assessing, her soprano a measured welcome. her hands smoothing her floral dress. "Monsieur Moreau," she said, her voice a thread of caution. "You're early. I wasn't expecting you until tomorrow. But you're welcome, of course. Join us for breakfast." Elise's green eyes met Gabriel's, her alto a quiet tremor, her heart stirring with an unfamiliar ache, the locket a sudden weight. "Elise Marquette," she said, rising, her sundress swaying, her journal in hand. "I'm a guest here, a writer. Your book sounds fascinating." Gabriel's blue eyes softened, his tenor a low warmth, his camera a barrier he lowered, his smile a flicker of vulnerability. "Elise," he said, his voice a melody of interest. "I've read your novels, your words, they cut deep. I'm here to capture Provence's heart, but maybe I'll find more than that." Pierre's hazel eyes narrowed, his baritone a quiet warning, his hands on the lavender, his protective streaks surfacing. "The chateau's a place of peace, Moreau," he said, his voice steady. "We've all come here to heal, don't stir up trouble." Sophie's brown eyes sparkled, her mezzo a burst of excitement, her sketchbook forgotten, her braids swinging. "A photographer," she said, her hands clapping. "Oh, Gabriel, you must take pictures of my sketches. And Elise's writing, we're a team now." The group settled around the iron table, the croissants a shared delight, the lemonade a cool relief, the lavender fields a backdrop to their uneasy alliance. Gabriel's presence was a spark, his blue eyes lingering on Elise, her green eyes meeting his with a mix of curiosity and caution, her heart a fragile thing caught in the echoes of lavender. Château Lavande held its secrets close, its stone walls a keeper of new beginnings, and Elise Marquette stood on the edge of something unexpected, her heart a melody that sought the whispers of the past, a story unfolding in the sunlight. Part 3: The Lens of the Past. The midday sun hung high over the Luberon Valley, its golden light spilling across the lavender fields of Château Lavande, the air thick with the scent of blooms and the hum of bees, the rolling hills a canvas of purple and green. The château's stone walls glowed, its blue shutters open to the breeze, the courtyard fountain a soft murmur beneath the cicada's song. The olive groves shimmered in the heat, their leaves a silver whisper, the sky a deep azure with only a hint of cloud, the summer of 1985 a timeless embrace in Provence. Elise Marquette walked the garden path, her auburn hair glowing, her green eyes bright with inspiration, her linen sundress a soft cream, the locket of Amélie Lavande a warm weight against her chest, her journal tucked under her arm. Elise had spent the morning writing, Amélie's story pouring onto the pages. Her forbidden love for a soldier, their stolen moments in the lavender fields, a betrayal that tore them apart. The locket had become a talisman, its lavender sprig a bridge to the past, and Elise felt her heart mending with every word, the pain of her divorce from Julien fading like a distant storm. But Gabriel Moreau's arrival had stirred something new, his blue eyes a challenge she couldn't ignore, her alto a quiet hum as she walked. "Focus, Elise," she murmured, her green eyes on the fields, her heart a fragile thing caught between past and present. "You came here to write, not to feel." Madame Colette Beaumont sat on the veranda, her silver hair in a chignon, her floral dress a soft bloom, her blue eyes wise behind wire-rimmed glasses, her soprano a gentle melody as she sipped tea, a basket of lavender at her feet. "You've been writing all morning, Elise," she said, her hands folding the blooms into sachets, her voice a thread of warmth. Does Amelie still speak to you? I saw the light in your eyes at breakfast. Gabriel's presence didn't go unnoticed. Elise's green eyes flickered, her alto a soft confession, her sundress swaying as she joined Colette, her journal in her lap. She does, she said, her fingers brushing the locket, her heart aflutter. Amelie's story, it's healing me, Colette. But Gabriel, he's unexpected. I came here to escape men like him, charismatic, intense. Julien was the same, and look where that left me. Colette's blue eyes softened, her soprano a murmur of wisdom, her hands steady with the lavender. Not all men are Julien, my dear, she said, her voice a gentle guide. Gabriel carries his own scars. I see it in his eyes. He's here for a reason, just as you are. Let the lavender guide you both. Monsieur Pierre Dubois emerged from the olive grove, his denim shirt damp with sweat, his dark hair streaked with gray, his hazel eyes shadowed but kind, his baritone a low rumble as he carried a basket of ripe olives, his hands callous but careful. The grove's ready for picking, he said, his gaze on Elise, his smile hesitant. You've been writing, Madame Marquette, I can tell. The fields are working their magic, aren't they? Elise's green eyes warmed, her alto a quiet gratitude, her heart lifting at his kindness, the journal a testament to her progress. They are, Pierre, she said, her sundress glowing in the sun, her fingers tracing the locket. I'm finding my voice again, thanks to this place, and to all of you. Sophie Laurent appeared, her blonde braids swinging, her brown eyes bright with excitement, her cotton dress a splash of yellow, her mezzo a burst of energy as she carried a tray of fresh figs, her sketchbook under her arm. Lunch is almost ready, she said, her hands quick, her laughter a melody against the cicadas. Elise, I've been sketching more of Amelie, her soldier, the fields. And Gabriel's been taking photos, he's so talented. You should see his work. Gabriel Moreau followed, his dark hair tousled, his blue eyes sharp with focus, his camera around his neck, his linen shirt open, his jeans faded, his tenor a low warmth as he adjusted his lens, his gaze on the lavender fields. This place is a dream, he said, his voice a melody of awe, his camera clicking as he captured the light. The colors, the textures, I've never seen anything like it. Elise, you should join me. I'd love to photograph you with the lavender. Elise's green eyes met his, her alto a quiet tremor, her heart stirring with an unfamiliar ache, the locket a sudden weight. Photograph me? She said, her sundress rustling, her journal a shield. I'm not sure I'm ready for that, Gabriel. I'm here to write, not to pose. Gabriel's blue eyes softened, his tenor a gentle plea, his camera a bridge between them, his smile a flicker of vulnerability. You're part of this place now, Elise, he said, his voice a whisper of connection. Your story, Amelie's, it's in the lavender. Let me capture it, for your book, for you. Pierre's hazel eyes narrowed, his baritone a quiet warning, his hands on the olives, his protective streaks surfacing. She said she's not ready, Moreau, he said, his voice steady. The chateau's for healing, not for your lens. Let her be. Sophie's brown eyes sparkled, her mezzo a burst of optimism, her braids swinging as she set the figs down, her hands clapping. Oh, but it could be so beautiful, she said, her voice bright. Elise, You'd look like Amelie in the fields. With the locket, the lavender. Gabriel's right. It's for your story. Colette's blue eyes watched, her soprano a soft hum, her hands still with the lavender, her wisdom a silent guide. It's your choice, Elise, she said, her voice a thread of encouragement. But sometimes stepping into the light helps us see ourselves clearer. Elise's green eyes wavered, her alto a murmur of hesitation, her heart a fragile thing caught in the moment, the locket a warm pulse. Maybe. Just one photo, she said, her sundress a soft cream in the light, her journal set aside. For Amelie's sake. Gabriel led her to the lavender fields, the blooms a purple sea around them, the sun a golden halo, the air thick with scent and possibility. He positioned her among the flowers, her auburn hair glowing, her green eyes distant, the locket catching the light, her sundress a canvas of grace. Look toward the chateau, he said, his tenor a low warmth, his camera clicking, his blue eyes intense. You're beautiful, Elise, like you belong here. Elise's green eyes flickered, her alto a whisper of vulnerability, her heart racing, the locket a tether to Amelie's courage. I don't know if I do, she said, her voice a melody of doubt, her hands brushing the lavender. But I'm trying, Gabriel, I'm trying to find my place. The afternoon unfolded in a haze of creativity, Gabriel's camera a steady rhythm, Elise's journal a quiet companion, Sophie's sketches a burst of color, Pierre's hands a steady presence in the fields, Colette's wisdom a gentle anchor on the veranda. Lunch was a feast of figs, olives, and fresh bread, the rose a cool relief, the conversation a tapestry of laughter and stories, the lavender fields a silent witness to their growing bond. But as the sun dipped lower, casting long shadows across the fields, Elise found a quiet moment alone, her green eyes on the horizon, her alto a murmur of reflection, her journal open to Amelie's story, a betrayal in the fields, a soldier's letter hidden among the blooms, a love that refused to die. Amelie, did you find peace? She whispered, her heart a fragile flame, the locket a warm promise. Can I? Gabriel approached, his dark hair tousled, his blue eyes soft, his camera at his side, his tenor a gentle intrusion, his linen shirt glowing in the light. I developed the photos, he said, his voice a melody of sincerity, his hands offering a print. You look like a dream, Elise, like Amelie come to life. I couldn't stop looking at you. Elise's green eyes met his, her alto a quiet tremor, her heart a storm of emotions, the locket a sudden weight. Gabriel, she said, her sundress swaying, her fingers trembling as she took the photo, her image among the lavender a mirror of her soul. I don't know what to say. I'm not ready for this. But thank you, it's beautiful. Gabriel's blue eyes held hers, his tenor a whisper of patience, his smile a flicker of hope. I'll wait, Elise, he said, his voice a promise. Provence has a way of healing. I've felt it too. Let's see where the lavender takes us. The chateau glowed in the fading light, its stone walls a keeper of secrets, the lavender fields a canvas of memories, and Elise Marquette stood on the edge of something new, her heart a melody that echoed with the past, a story unfolding in the sunlight, the echoes of lavender a whisper of what could be. The Echoes of Lavender Part 4, The Letters in the Attic. The late afternoon sun dipped low over the Luberon Valley, its amber light casting a warm glow across the lavender fields of Château Lavande, the air heavy with the scent of blooms and the faint tang of olive wood smoke, the rolling hills a tapestry of purples and golds. The chateau's stone walls absorbed the light, its blue shutters creaking softly in the breeze, the courtyard fountain a gentle murmur beneath the cicadas' fading song. The sky was a canvas of soft oranges and pinks, the summer of 1985 a tender embrace in Provence, the lavender fields a silent witness to the hearts that sought solace within. Elise Marquette stood on the chateau's veranda, her auburn hair loose in the breeze, her green eyes shimmering with a mix of curiosity and longing, her linen sundress a soft cream, the locket of Château Lavande a warm weight against her chest, her journal in hand. Elise had spent the day writing, Amelie's story deepening with every page, a soldier's betrayal, a letter hidden in the lavender fields, a love that endured through loss. The photograph Gabriel had taken of her among the blooms had stirred something within her, a fragile hope that mingled with the pain of her divorce from Julien, her heart a delicate thing finding its rhythm. Gabriel's words, "I'll wait, Elise," echoed in her mind, her alto a soft hum as she gazed at the fields. "Amelie, did you ever find him again?" she murmured, her green eyes distant, her fingers brushing the locket, her heart a melody of questions. Madame Colette Beaumont appeared, her silver hair glowing in the light, her floral dress a soft bloom, her blue eyes wise behind wire-rimmed glasses, her soprano a gentle melody as she carried a small wooden box, its surface worn with age, her hands steady. "Elise, I thought you might want to see this," she said, her voice a thread of excitement, her glasses glinting. "I found it in the attic while searching for linens, letters from Amelie's time. They might help with your story." Elise's green eyes widened, her alto a gasp of delight, her sundress rustling as she took the box, her journal set aside, her heart racing. "Letters?" she said, her fingers trembling, the locket a sudden pulse against her skin. "Colette, this is incredible, Amelie's own words. I don't know what to say." Colette's blue eyes smiled, her soprano a murmur of encouragement, her hands folding in her lap as she sat beside Elise, the veranda a quiet haven. "I thought they might speak to you," she said, her voice a gentle guide. "Amelie's story has been waiting for someone like you to tell it. Read them, Elise. Let her voice guide your heart." Monsieur Pierre Dubois joined them, his denim shirt dusted with soil, his dark hair streaked with gray, his hazel eyes gentle but shadowed, his baritone a low rumble as he carried a bundle of lavender, his hands callous but careful. "The fields are ready for tomorrow's harvest," he said, his gaze on Elise, his smile hesitant. "You look inspired, Madame Marquette. Those letters must be something special." Elise's green eyes sparkled, her alto a quiet gratitude, her heart lifting at his kindness, the box a treasure in her hands. "They are, Pierre," she said, her sundress glowing in the light, her fingers tracing the box's edge. "Amelie's letters. I can't wait to read them. They'll bring her story to life." Sophie Laurent emerged from the kitchen, her blonde braids swinging, her brown eyes bright with curiosity, her cotton dress a splash of yellow, her mezzo a burst of energy as she carried a tray of iced tea, her sketchbook under her arm. "Letters from Amelie?" she said, her hands quick, her laughter a melody against the cicadas. "Oh, Elise, that's so exciting. You have to read them to us. I've been sketching her soldier all day." Gabriel Moreau followed, his dark hair tousled, his blue eyes sharp with interest, his camera around his neck, his linen shirt open, his jeans faded, his tenor a low warmth as he adjusted his lens, his gaze on Elise. "Letters from the 1700s?" he said, his voice a melody of intrigue, his camera clicking as he captured the veranda's light. "That's a gold mine, Elise. They'll add such depth to your book. I'd love to photograph them, if you'll let me." Elise's green eyes met his, her alto a quiet tremor, her heart stirring with his intensity, the locket a warm weight. "Maybe," she said, her sundress swaying, her fingers clutching the box, her journal a silent witness. "But I need to read them first, Gabriel. They're personal. Amelie's heart is in these pages." Pierre's hazel eyes narrowed, his baritone a quiet warning, his hands on the lavender, his protective streaks surfacing. "They're for Elise to share when she's ready, Moreau," he said, his voice steady. "This isn't your story to capture, it's hers." Sophie's brown eyes sparkled, her mezzo a burst of optimism, her braids swinging as she poured the tea, her hands quick. "But it'll be so beautiful," she said, her voice bright. "Elise, you're bringing Amelie back to life. We're all part of it now. Let's read them together." Colette's blue eyes watched, her soprano a soft hum, her hands still with the lavender, her wisdom a silent guide. "Let Elise decide," she said, her voice a thread of patience. "The letters are hers to uncover, she'll know when the time is right." Elise opened the box, her green eyes shimmering, her alto a whisper of awe, her fingers lifting a bundle of yellowed letters, their wax seals cracked but intact, the ink faded but legible. She unfolded the first, her breath catching, her voice a melody of discovery as she read aloud, her heart a fragile thing connecting to the past. "My dearest Philippe, the lavender hides our love, but my father's wrath grows. Meet me at dusk, I cannot bear another day without you. Amelie." Sophie's brown eyes widened, her mezzo a gasp, her sketchbook forgotten, her hands clutching her tea, her braids still. "Oh, that's so romantic," she said, her voice a burst of emotion. "Amelie and Philippe, they were risking everything. Elise, you have to keep reading." Gabriel's blue eyes softened, his tenor a low warmth, his camera at his side, his smile a flicker of vulnerability. "It's like you're channeling her, Elise," he said, his voice a whisper of admiration. "You bring her to life. I can see it in your eyes." Pierre's hazel eyes softened, his baritone a quiet murmur, his hands on the lavender, his heart a mirror of Elise's journey, his voice a thread of memory. "It reminds me of Claire," he said, his gaze distant. "We wrote letters too during her illness. They kept us close, even when she was fading." Elise's green eyes shimmered, her alto a soft empathy, her heart aching for Pierre, the letters a bridge between their pain, the locket a warm pulse. "I'm so sorry, Pierre," she said, her sundress a soft cream in the light, her fingers trembling as she folded the letter. "Amelie's words, they're a gift. They're helping me heal, just as the lavender helped you." The evening unfolded in a haze of shared stories. The group gathered on the veranda, the iced tea a cool relief, the lavender fields a backdrop to their growing bond. Elise read more letters, each one a piece of Amelie's heart, her fear of her father's disapproval, her longing for Philippe, a soldier called to war, a final letter stained with tears. "You're gone, my love, and the lavender weeps with me. I'll keep you here always. Amelie. Elise's green eyes brimmed, her alto a whisper of sorrow, her heart a fragile thing echoing Amelie's loss, the locket a warm weight. She lost him, she said, her voice a melody of grief, her journal open to a new page, her pen poised. The war took Philippe, and Amelie stayed here, with the lavender. Her love, it never faded. Gabriel's blue eyes held hers, his tenor a quiet promise, his camera forgotten, his linen shirt glowing in the light, his heart a mirror of her own. You're giving her a voice, Elise, he said, his voice a whisper of connection. And maybe you're finding yours too. The chateau glowed in the twilight, its stone walls a keeper of secrets, the lavender fields a canvas of memories, and Elise Marquette stood on the edge of healing, her heart a melody that echoed with Amelie's, a story unfolding in the fading light, the echoes of lavender a whisper of hope that refused to die. Part 5. The Harvest of Hearts. The dawn broke gently over the Luberon Valley, its soft pinks and golds spilling across the lavender fields of Château Lavande, the air alive with the scent of blooms and the faint musk of dew, the rolling hills a canvas of purples and greens. The château's stone walls glowed in the early light, its blue shutters catching the breeze, the courtyard fountain a quiet murmur beneath the waking cicadas, the summer of 1985 a tender embrace in Provence. The lavender harvest had begun, the fields a hive of activity, the workers' laughter a melody against the morning, their baskets filling with purple blooms, the chateau a beacon of renewal. Elise Marquette stood among the rows, her auburn hair tied back with a scarf, her green eyes bright with purpose, her linen sundress a soft cream, the locket of Amelie Lavande a warm weight against her chest, a basket in her hands. Elise had woken with a sense of clarity, Amelie's letters, read late into the night, a map to her own healing, their words of love and loss a mirror to her journey. The soldier Philippe's death had broken Amelie, but her resilience in the lavender fields had inspired Elise, her heart a fragile thing now blooming with possibility, her divorce from Julien a distant ache. The harvest was a chance to connect with the land, to feel the lavender's magic in her hands, her alto a soft hum as she worked. This is what Amelie felt, she murmured, her green eyes shimmering, her fingers gentle with the blooms, the locket a pulse of connection. Her love, her strength, it's here. Madame Colette Beaumont oversaw the harvest, her silver hair glowing in the light, her floral dress a soft bloom, her blue eyes wise behind wire-rimmed glasses, her soprano a gentle melody as she directed the workers, her hands steady with a sickle, her presence a comforting anchor. "You're a natural, Elise," she said, her voice a thread of warmth, her glasses glinting. "The lavender suits you. I knew it would. Amelie's letters, they've changed you, haven't they?" Elise's green eyes softened, her alto a quiet confession, her sundress swaying as she filled her basket, her heart a melody of gratitude, the locket a warm weight. "They have, Colette," she said, her fingers brushing the blooms, her journal tucked into her apron. "Amelie loved so deeply, even after losing Philippe. It's made me realize I can love again, too. I can let go of Julien's betrayal." Colette's blue eyes smiled, her soprano a murmur of encouragement, her hands steady with the lavender, her wisdom a gentle guide. "The lavender always knows," she said, her voice a thread of hope. "It's been whispering to you since you arrived, Elise. Listen to it." Monsieur Pierre Dubois worked nearby, his denim shirt rolled to the elbows, his dark hair streaked with gray, his hazel eyes gentle but shadowed, his baritone a low rumble as he tied bundles of lavender, his hands callous but careful, his heart a quiet echo of the fields. "You're part of this now, Madame Marquette," he said, his gaze on the blooms, his smile warm. Claire would have loved seeing this. The harvest was her favorite time. "You've brought light to Lavande, just as she did." Elise's green eyes shimmered, her alto a soft empathy, her heart aching for Pierre's loss, the lavender a bridge between their pain, her basket heavy with blooms. "I'm honored, Pierre," she said, her sundress glowing in the light, her fingers brushing the scarf at her neck. "The lavender, it's healing me, just as it did for you and Claire. I feel her here, with us." Sophie Laurent danced through the rows, her blonde braids swinging, her brown eyes bright with joy, her cotton dress a splash of yellow, her mezzo a burst of energy as she carried a basket of blooms, her sketchbook tucked under her arm, her laughter a melody against the cicadas. "Elise, look at all this lavender," she said, her hands quick, her voice a burst of excitement. "I'm going to make a wreath for the chateau, and sketch the harvest. Oh, it's so beautiful. I wish I could paint it all." Elise's green eyes sparkled, her alto a warm laugh, her heart lifting at Sophie's enthusiasm, the lavender a canvas of shared dreams, the locket a warm pulse. "A wreath sounds lovely, Sophie," she said, her sundress a soft cream in the light, her basket brimming. "And your sketches, they'll capture this moment perfectly. We're making memories today." Gabriel Moreau moved through the fields, his dark hair tousled, his blue eyes sharp with focus, his camera around his neck, his linen shirt open, his jeans faded, his tenor a low warmth as he captured the harvest, his lens a window to the beauty around them. "This is incredible," he said, his voice a melody of awe, his camera clicking as he framed Elise among the blooms. "Elise, you look like you belong here, like Amelie, tending the lavender. I'm documenting it all, for your book, for us." Elise's green eyes met his, her alto a quiet tremor, her heart racing with his words, the locket a sudden weight, her basket steady in her hands. "For us?" she said, her sundress swaying, her fingers brushing the blooms, her heart a fragile thing caught in the moment. "Gabriel, I'm starting to believe I belong here. But I'm still afraid. Julian left scars I can't ignore." Gabriel's blue eyes softened, his tenor a gentle promise, his camera a bridge between them, his smile a flicker of vulnerability, his linen shirt glowing in the light. "I know about scars, Elise," he said, his voice a whisper of connection. "I lost my fiancée, Camille, 3 years ago, a car accident. I've been running from that pain ever since. But here, with you, I feel alive again. Let's heal together." Elise's green eyes shimmered, her alto a whisper of vulnerability, her heart a storm of emotions, the locket a warm pulse, the lavender fields a sanctuary around them. "Gabriel," she said, her voice a melody of hope, her fingers trembling as she set her basket down, her sundress a soft cream in the light. "I want to, but I need time. The lavender's teaching me, but I'm not there yet." The harvest continued, the fields a symphony of movement, the workers' laughter a chorus of joy, the lavender a purple sea that stretched to the horizon, the chateau a beacon of renewal in the distance. Lunch was served in the courtyard, a feast of fresh bread, goat cheese, and lavender-infused honey, the rose a cool relief, the conversation a tapestry of shared dreams, the group a family bound by the blooms. But as the afternoon waned, Elise found a quiet moment in the fields, her green eyes on the horizon, her alto a murmur of reflection, her journal open to Amelie's story, a final letter to Philippe, written after his death, a vow to keep their love alive in the lavender. "Amelie, you never stopped loving him," she whispered, her heart a fragile flame, the locket a warm promise. "Can I be that strong?" Pierre approached, his hazel eyes gentle, his baritone a quiet strength, his hands carrying a small bundle of lavender, his denim shirt dusted with soil, his smile a flicker of hope. "For you, Elise," he said, his voice a thread of kindness, his gaze on the blooms. "Claire always gave me lavender on Harvest Day. It was our tradition. I thought you might like to start one of your own." Elise's green eyes brimmed, her alto a soft gratitude, her heart swelling with his gesture, the lavender a symbol of new beginnings, the locket a warm weight. "Thank you, Pierre," she said, her sundress glowing in the fading light, her fingers accepting the bundle, her journal a canvas of possibilities. "This means more than you know. I'll cherish it." The chateau glowed in the twilight, its stone walls a keeper of secrets, the lavender fields a canvas of healing, and Elise Marquette stood among the blooms, her heart a melody that echoed with Amelie's, a story unfolding in the fading light, the echoes of lavender a whisper of love that refused to fade, a harvest of hearts that bloomed in the summer sun. Part 6. The Bloom of Tomorrow. The evening settled over the Luberon Valley, its twilight a soft violet that draped the lavender fields of Château Lavande, the air thick with the scent of blooms and the faint musk of cooling earth, the rolling hills a silhouette against the sky streaked with stars. The chateau's stone walls glowed with the warm light of lanterns, its blue shutters closed against the night, the courtyard fountain a gentle murmur beneath the cricket's song, the summer of 1985 a tender farewell in Provence. The lavender harvest had ended, the fields a sea of trimmed stalks, their purple bounty bundled and ready for market, the chateau a haven of celebration, its doors open to a feast that marked the season's close. Elise Marquette stood on the veranda, her auburn hair glowing in the lantern light, her green eyes shimmering with joy, her linen sundress a soft cream, the locket of Amelie Lavande a warm weight against her chest, her journal in hand. Elise had spent the day among the blooms, the harvest a catharsis that sealed her healing, Amelie's story completed in her journal, a tale of love, loss, and resilience that mirrored her own journey, her divorce from Julien now a distant memory, her heart a fragile thing that had bloomed anew. Gabriel's presence had become a quiet comfort, his patience a balm to her fears, their shared scars a bridge to something deeper, her alto a soft hum as she gazed at the fields. "Amelie, you showed me how to love again," she murmured, her green eyes bright, her fingers brushing the locket, her heart a melody of gratitude. "Thank you." Madame Colette Beaumont orchestrated the feast, her silver hair glowing in the light, her floral dress a soft bloom, her blue eyes wise behind wire-rimmed glasses, her soprano a gentle melody as she arranged the table, her hands steady with a bouquet of lavender, her presence a comforting anchor. "You've transformed, Elise," she said, her voice a thread of warmth, her glasses glinting. "The lavender worked its magic. I knew it would. Amelie's story, your story, they're one now, aren't they?" Elise's green eyes softened, her alto a quiet confession, her sundress swaying as she helped Colette, her journal a testament to her journey, the locket a warm pulse. "They are, Colette," she said, her fingers brushing the bouquet, her heart a melody of peace. "Writing Amelie's story healed me. I've let go of Julien, of the pain. I'm ready for what's next, whatever that may be." Colette's blue eyes smiled, her soprano a murmur of encouragement, her hands steady with the lavender, her wisdom a gentle guide. "The lavender always knows," she said, her voice a thread of hope. "It's brought you back to yourself, Elise. And perhaps, to someone new." Monsieur Pierre Dubois joined them, his denim shirt clean for the feast, his dark hair streaked with gray, his hazel eyes gentle but bright, his baritone a low rumble as he carried a bottle of rose, his hands callous but steady, his smile a flicker of joy. "The harvest was a success," he said, his gaze on Elise, his voice a thread of pride. "And you were part of it, Madame Marquette. Claire would have loved this night. She always said the feast was the heart of Lavande." Elise's green eyes shimmered, her alto a soft gratitude, her heart swelling with his words, the lavender bundle he'd given her now tucked into her journal, the locket a warm weight. "I'm honored, Pierre," she said, her sundress glowing in the light, her fingers brushing the journal. "This place, this harvest, it's given me a new beginning. I feel Claire here, celebrating with us." Sophie Laurent danced into the courtyard, her blonde braid adorned with a lavender sprig, her brown eyes bright with excitement, her cotton dress a splash of yellow, her mezzo a burst of energy as she carried a tray of lavender macarons, her sketchbook under her arm, her laughter a melody against the crickets. "The feast is ready," she said, her hands quick, her voice a burst of joy. "Elise, I made these macarons for you. They're my gift for finishing Amelie's story. Oh, tonight's going to be magical." Elise's green eyes sparkled, her alto a warm laugh, her heart lifting at Sophie's enthusiasm, the macarons a sweet gesture, the locket a warm pulse. "They're beautiful, Sophie," she said, her sundress a soft cream in the light, her journal a canvas of shared dreams. "You've made this night even sweeter, your sketches, your spirit, they've been a gift." Gabriel Moreau approached, his dark hair tousled, his blue eyes soft with emotion, his camera around his neck, his linen shirt open, his jeans faded, his tenor a low warmth as he carried a small envelope, his smile a flicker of vulnerability, his heart a mirror of Elise's journey. "I have something for you, Elise," he said, his voice a melody of sincerity, his blue eyes holding hers. "Photos from the harvest, but one special. I took it this morning, when you were riding in the fields." Elise's green eyes met his, her alto a quiet tremor, her heart racing with his gesture, the locket a sudden weight, her journal steady in her hands. "For me?" she said, her sundress swaying, her fingers trembling as she took the envelope, her heart a fragile thing caught in the moment. "Gabriel, you've captured so much already. I don't know what to say." Gabriel's blue eyes softened, his tenor a gentle promise, his camera a bridge between them, his linen shirt glowing in the light, his heart a whisper of hope. "You don't have to say anything, Elise," he said, his voice a melody of patience. "Just look, it's you, as I see you. Strong, beautiful, healing." Elise opened the envelope, her green eyes shimmering, her alto a gasp of delight, her fingers lifting the photo, a candid shot of her in the lavender fields, her auburn hair glowing, her green eyes distant, the locket catching the light, her journal in her lap, a smile on her lips as she wrote, the lavender a purple sea around her. "It's perfect," she said, her voice a melody of awe, her heart swelling with emotion, the locket a warm pulse. "Gabriel, this is how I feel, like I've found myself again." The feast began, the courtyard a glow of lanterns and laughter, the table laden with Provençal delights. Lavender roasted chicken, ratatouille, Sophie's macarons, the rose sparkling like the stars above, the group of family bound by the blooms. Colette raised her glass, her soprano a toast, her blue eyes bright, her silver hair a halo in the light. "To the lavender," she said, her voice a thread of joy. "And to new beginnings, for all of us." Pierre's baritone joined, his hazel eyes on Elise, his smile a quiet promise, his hand steady with his glass, his heart a mirror of the fields. "To Claire," he said, his voice a thread of memory. "And to Elise, for bringing light to Lavande." Sophie's mezzo giggled, her brown eyes dancing, her braid a golden thread in the light, her hands clapping with delight. "To love," she said, her voice a burst of hope. "And to Amélie, she brought us together." Gabriel's blue eyes held Elise's, his tenor a whisper of devotion, his camera at his side, his heart a melody of possibility, his glass raised. "To Elise," he said, his voice a promise, "for showing me how to heal, how to love again." Elise's green eyes brimmed, her alto a soft echo, her heart a melody of love, her glass raised, her journal on the table, the locket a warm weight. "To all of you," she said, her voice a song of gratitude, her sundress a soft cream in the light, the lavender fields a silent witness beyond the courtyard. "For giving me a home, a story, a future." The night unfolded in a haze of laughter and music, a local band playing a Provençal waltz, the group dancing under the stars, the lavender sent a balm to their souls, Château Lavande a haven of love and renewal. Elise danced with Gabriel, her green eyes locked on his, her heart a fragile thing that had found its bloom, the locket a warm pulse, Amélie's story a completed chapter, her own just beginning. The chateau glowed in the starlight, its stone walls a keeper of secrets, the lavender fields a canvas of tomorrow, and Elise Marquette stood among her new family, her heart a melody that echoed with Amélie's, a story of love that bloomed in the summer night, the echoes of lavender a whisper of forever, a promise of all that could be. As the stars twinkled above Château Lavande, Elise Marquette danced into her new beginning, the lavender fields whispering promises of love and tomorrow. Thank you for listening to the Echoes of Lavender on Porchlight Tales. If this heartfelt journey through Provence touched your soul, please give this video a like and subscribe to Porchlight Tales for more stories of love, healing, and new beginnings. Until next time, let the lavender guide your heart.